Alright, so after my last Peacemaker video, I'm a little surprised that we come back for another one. DCU fans, how are we doing after that season 2 finale? Now, I know what y'all are thinking. That's it? But listen, we can't have an Avengers level threat every single season. I mean, James Gunn flat out said, the second season is about Chris Smith and him dealing with his trauma. It's a character study as much as a superhero story. But let's not forget, this series will carry us into Man of Tomorrow, which will continue to kick off this new era of DCU content. Let's dive into the Peacemaker Season 2 finale ending and what we can expect for John Cena's comedy superhero series next, as well as the DCU as a whole. Guys, we already knew Peacemaker Season 2 was much bigger than anyone had expected, despite the reviews saying otherwise. I mean, come on, we started the season off with the Justice Gang, a John Cena multiverse, and then in episode 6, Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor, something no one really saw coming. Except for me, that is. Okay, I'm just kidding. But considering the absolutely massive success of the 2025 Superman film, I honestly wasn't that surprised. Anyways, Luthor is being held in the metahuman Carswell facility Belle Reve prison, which serves as the base of operations for the Suicide Squad. Why is he there? Well, it was discovered that he was actually the mastermind behind the Boravia-Jarhamper War. So he's thrown in prison to serve a 265-year sentence. Crazy. So I have some more news for you. James Gunn actually warned us about this finale only a day before its release. The Peacemaker Season 2 finale released on October 9. Well, really only a matter of hours previously, James Gunn made a post on X on October 8. The post shared a behind-the-scenes photo of the alien Vermin that appeared early in the season. The post caption read, "The Vermin are back tomorrow night on the Peacemaker finale on Stream on Max, but they're not the only little friends we're going to see." I mean, honestly, considering Gunn made it clear early on that this series would be connected to the Superman sequel film, Man of Tomorrow, I feel pretty comfortable saying we really should have seen this finale coming, as well as its giant cliffhanger. But we'll get to that later. Given the connection between Salvation and the original comic books, as well as Lex Luthor's entrapment on the planet in one of the comic runs, it tells us that Peacemaker Season 2 will 100% lead us into James Gunn's next Superman film. Now, before we dive into the Season 2 finale, let's quickly recall the events leading up to the epic final episode. Season 2, Episode 7 was one of the best of the series so far, and it had a pretty interesting twist that satisfied an earlier Season 1 theory. Originally, it was thought that Chris's father was an evil white supremacist. Well, when the entirety of Season 2 was centered around this alternate reality where Nazis run the world, it was thought that this theory was all but confirmed. But James Gunn has taught us not to get too comfortable with what we think we know about a character. In Episode 7, Chris's father reveals in his final moments that he doesn't agree with them being the Nazis.
Awfully generous for a Nazi.
Don't call me that.
He simply exists in this world and does what he can to make things better. This twist was hinted at earlier on when Chris's father can be seen finding a bunch of cops who are actually employees of a Nazi government. That was the big twist for Episode 7. As the episode comes to a close, Chris Smith, aka Peacemaker, finds himself stuck in prison. Well, maybe not stuck. In order to save his friends, Chris actually decides to surrender himself and the quantum unfolding chamber, which allowed him to access alternate dimensions, up to Argus. At this point, Smith is at an all-time low. Not only has he lost his multiverse machine and landed himself in prison, but he also blames himself for the death of those around him.
Maybe because I'm the angel of f***ing death.
Now that Rick Flag Sr. has the quantum unfolding chamber, he plans on searching for another dimension where he can carry out his plans. And that's where the finale picks up. To be honest, the final episode of Peacemaker Season 2 wasn't all that shocking. Sure, it was a great watch, but it really served as a segue into Man of Tomorrow more than anything. It seems that this was the goal of James Gunn for Season 2 all along. Some fans have complained that Season 2 was a bit lackluster, but maybe we've just been looking at it the wrong way this whole time. In the final episode of Peacemaker Season 2, Chris Smith struggles with the fact that he had just witnessed and feels responsible for the death of his alternate family on the Nazi-run Earth. So, after being taken into captivity, the 11th Street kids bail Chris out of prison and help him work through the guilt he's been feeling about his life's tragedies and the death of those around him. He teams up with Sasha Bordeaux, Langston Fleury, and the rest of Team Peacemaker to form an all-new one, Checkmate. Wait a minute, where have we heard of Checkmate before? Well, it was actually a spy organization in the DC comic book universe, which made its debut in 1988 with Action Comics number 598 by Paul Kupperberg and Steve Irwin. Anyways, Flag and Argus, along with Lex Luthor, use the QUC to travel to other alternate dimensions in an attempt to track down a location uninhabited by humans. What do they need an uninhabited yet hospitable planet for? Well, at first we think it's because Flag Sr. wants to use it for its resources, but we later realize this isn't the case at all. He wants to use it as a base for his new metahuman prison, eerily titled Salvation. Oh, I told you that name would come up again.
So on Salvation, that's where we build the prison?
No.
What is Salvation and where does it come from? Well, basically it's a place where all the DCU villains end up. It's a sort of alternate realm where the villains can live together, keeping them isolated from the rest of the world. Some of the villains marooned here include Catwoman, Killer Croc, Mr. Freeze, you get the picture. A lot. In fact, even the Joker and Lex Luthor are trapped here at one point or another. In a shocking turn of events, while things look like they might actually be going Peacemaker's way, it turns out that Flag Sr. has forged a fake signature, one that ties Chris Smith into being Salvation's first ever prisoner. An experiment agreement of sorts. Why Peacemaker and of all people? Well, Flag Sr. wants to see Chris suffer, seeking revenge for his son, Flag Jr. The episode ends with Chris Smith trapped, as the screeching of animals in the distance slowly increases. Creepy. So, what's next? It might not have been the explosive ending we were all hoping for, but it's a pretty good one nevertheless, if you ask me. Salvation will no doubt be the focal point of not only Man of Tomorrow, but future DCU projects as well. As of now, James Gunn has claimed that there are no plans for a Peacemaker Season 3. In an interview with Deadline, Gunn made the following statements. Man of Tomorrow was an idea I've had for a long time. I think I know the next few I'm directing, so I already know, frankly. Because it's a part of the plan of the DCU, there is one big story. On one hand, I want everything to be okay to watch by itself, but also there's a bigger story being told that involves, say, Salvation, and that story involves Rick Flag, and it also involves Lex and Superman. For me, this statement proves that Lex and Superman and Peacemaker will spearhead the next phase of the DCU, and thank goodness, because after the dissipation of Henry Cavill's Justice League, someone needed to step up, and I think David Cornsweet, Nicholas Hoult, and surprisingly, John Cena are the perfect people to do it. You did it, guys. You made it to the end of another one of my DCU videos. Hopefully this one wasn't as controversial as my last, but let me know in the comments. I don't know about you, but I'm really happy with the direction the DCU is taking. We have solid continuity across the new and improved Peacemaker and Superman universes, and I'm so excited to see where Man of Tomorrow takes this franchise. What did you think of these Peacemaker theories? Let me know your thoughts about the Season 2 finale in the comments. Were there any Easter eggs that you noticed that we missed here? What characters, villains, and plot points do you think will make an appearance in Man of Tomorrow? And what's with Salvation? Will we get to see every DCU villain trapped there, like in the comics? Or will it be the heroes that are trapped there this time around? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more theories just like these. Thanks again for watching ScreenRant, and I'll see you in the next one.